what you need to do in IELTS is speaking part 2. IELTS is speaking part 2 in individual shortcut. Here the examiner will show you a cue card and they will provide you just 60 seconds to prepare short topics, and within that time you need to prepare short topics. As you begin to prepare short topics, you don't have to write unnecessarily long sentences. You have to write verbs, nouns and adjectives only. Okay, suppose speak about the person whom you admire a lot. You should say they will give you, or examiner will provide you 4 bullet points. Who is he? When you met him? How is he different from others? Explain his contributions. Okay. Who is he? Don't write the person whom I admire a lot is none other than Balen Saab, who is the mayor of Kathmandu city. You don't have to write long sentences. Simply write Balen Saab, mayor. When you met him, just write 10 years ago, 5 years ago. How is he different from others? Simply write humble, painstaking, social reformer, charitable, action oriented, okay, grounded, okay, uncorrupted, and explain his contributions, widening the road of Kathmandu, sanitations, okay, and provide a job to students. Like this, you have to make soft topics, and they will provide you just 60 seconds only. After that, as you begin to speak, you don't have to look your subtopics maximum time. So whenever you go out of track, okay, you can have a cursory glance. Cursory glance in Nepali, you can look at very quickly. And after that, you should begin to speak. So don't look your paper many times, but you can have a cursory glance on it. If the question is based on past tense, you have to speak about past, present, and future. Okay. If the question is based on future tense, you have to use future tense. Expected to be, reported. Okay. So IELTS speaking part 2. Many IELTS test takers say it's very easy to speak for 2 minutes, but on the day of IELTS speaking exam, if you have to speak for 2 minutes, it seems as if it is eternity. People hardly speak for 2 minutes. When I appeared in IELTS speaking test, real test, in 2011, I had hope I would speak for more than 3 minutes, but what happened? I might have spoken for 2 minutes, but I was expecting to get 9. In speaking, unfortunately, there was a Nepalese examiner. Her name was Usha Guru. So I scored 8.5 only in speaking, and I was not happy with that score. So I was expecting more because since I had massive preparations. Now, what happens in IELTS speaking part 2, I have explained in brief, not in detail. So what happens in IELTS speaking part 3? IELTS speaking part 3 is discussions. Okay, here you shouldn't let your examiner speak more, you have to speak more. Okay, and number 1 tip is longer answer demonstrates your linguistic capability. You don't have to give short answers. Okay, next, always you have to paraphrase the questions. For example, what are the advantages and disadvantages of internet? Okay, well, there are many pros and cons of internet. So advantages, disadvantages. If you repeat advantages and disadvantages, it won't be crime, but examiner will notice, okay, you don't know many synonyms. Okay, you have to replace the words with synonyms. Next example, do you think marriage is necessary in our life? Think, yes, I recount, marriage is crucial in our life. Important, crucial. Think, recount. Okay. In IELTS speaking part 3, if you get all questions, you have to speak on both sides. What are the advantages and disadvantages of working from home? Do you think if the students study in co-educational institutions, it can have positive, it can have benefits, students can have negative results. Okay, outcome will be bad and outcome will be good. Why? If there is all questions, you have to speak on both sides. And part 3, you have to paraphrase the questions, and you have to give reasons. Always give 2 reasons, and you have to give examples. Okay, examples can be your personal also. Examples can be based on society also. I mean, what are the advantages and disadvantages of working from home? Okay, you can give one example. One of my brothers, okay, he started doing business from his own home. After that, he was successful to build rapport with his family members. RAPPORT, rapport. Rapport means good relationship. Additionally, he was able to save time and money. On the contrary, okay, if somebody commences business doing from home, he can have many negative consequences also. Firstly, he will have to live very isolated life. Secondly, he won't be able to socialize himself with the people who belong to different community. So you have to give examples. Again, for instance, and first say for example, next say for example, and for instance. When you have to give example, it doesn't mean that it should be real. It can be what? Hypothetical also. Like you said one of my brothers, you can say one of my intimate friends. Okay, whose name is Ramesh. What he did, he started doing business from his own home. As a result, after 6 months, he went mad because he didn't get chance. He didn't get chance to meet the people who belong to different societies. Okay, he couldn't smart on himself because he had to live very isolated life. Like this, you have to give example. Example can be real. Example can be hypothetical also. Okay. And next, in IELTS speaking part 3, I haven't taught you, I'm giving you tips only. You have to use complex sentence. Suppose she is blind, she walks comfortably on the way. Even though she is blind, she walks comfortably on the way. Okay, you have to make sentence very complex. Here, complex doesn't mean that you have to make sentences very difficult to understand. Complex means you have to show varieties in your sentence. Okay, and after that you have to use relative clause to give additional informations. Why do you think Lumbini is very famous place in Nepal? Well, Lumbini is really a stunning place, and many international tourists are interested to pay visit to Lumbini. There are so many reasons. In the first place, Lumbini is a place where Lord Gautam Buddha was born. Where gives additional information about what Lumbini, and a number of tourists show keen interest to pay visit to that religious place because, okay, because, and after that you have to give reasons, and after that you have to use why, which, why, how often. You have to use relative clause maximum in IELTS speaking, part 3, part 1 and part 2 also. Okay, longer answer demonstrates your linguistic capability. Again, I would like to speak just for 3 minutes only. And you have to use idiomatic expressions. And what do you mean by idiomatic expressions? Idiomatic expression doesn't mean that you have to use idioms. Idiomatic expression means you have to use natural English, standard English, the way uh, British and American people speak, idiomatic. And you have to use phrases and idioms, but you should not use phrases and idioms excessively. Okay, and you should use wide range of vocabulary. Use the existing word. Okay, don't use the words inappropriately. Okay, so these are the speaking tips about what IELTS speaking part 3. Now we don't have much time. Now, so I have 3 students only. So I would like to give you a score. As you start speaking, I will not interrupt you. I will keep on writing, and I will hand this paper to you. Okay? Let me have coffee. Just whose turn at first? Decide yourself.
You can go as well.
Yeah. First, second, and third. Okay. What's your name? Anurag. Okay. Anurag. Hi, my name is Vachaspati and my surname is Bimali. I am originally from Chapa, Nepal, and my passport number is 660033. May I know your name, please?
Yes, sir. My name is Anurag Kapil.
Could you please show me your identity card?
Identity card, sir.
Sorry. Why not, of course, here you are, please. Act, please. Why not, of course, here you are, please. Could you show me your identity card, please?
Why not, sir? Yeah.
Here you are, please. Okay. Okay, are you ready? Now you are in IELTS speaking part 1. I'm gonna ask you few questions. Try your best to give as good answer as possible. Okay. Did you have a favorite book when you were a child? Why or why not?
Um, at the childhood, my favorite book was science, since science is the book which is related to the facts and the knowledge about um, science fiction, as well as the knowledge of truth as well as fact. And I love it because it was so interesting, and the teacher who used to teach us was also very kind and honest.
Very good. Okay. How much reading do you do for your work or studies? How much reading do you do for your work or studies? Why or why not?
I do not do a lot of. I do not spend a lot of time on those things. Instead, I spend about 2 to 3 hours a day, because in my point of view, spending a lot of time in same thing is not good for anyone. We have also give priority to other activities, such as relaxing and doing other things too.
Very good. Now let me ask you, what kinds of books do you read for pleasure? Why and why not?
Uh, in my free time, I prefer to read the books which are related to the comedies scenes, uh, because it helps me to feel relaxed as well as interest, as well as more unstressful from such situation.
Now, do you prefer to read a newspaper or a magazine online or buy a copy? Why? Do you prefer to read a newspaper or a magazine online or to buy a copy? Why?
Uh, I prefer to read newspaper, since my grandfather uh, used to read the newspaper when I was child. He I I just
Okay, now let me ask you one question.
okay, sir.
How many siblings do you have and what do they do for a living?
I have 4 siblings, and they are not doing work because they are smaller than me, and they are student and studying at secondary level.
Okay. And what do you love to do in your spare time?
In my spare time, I prefer to visit my friends, because it's a time for relaxing, and I have so much fun and memorable things with my friends at the time.
Now next, how do you use English in your day-to-day life?
In my day-to-day life, I will not say that I use most of the time speaking English, because since my friend are all are Nepalese and they used to speak Nepalese language only, so I only speak the English whenever in for few period, for short time period of time.
Okay. Now I'm giving feedback
Okay, sir.
on his spoken English. So at first he said at the childhood he had to say during infancy stage, during childhood, not at. If you are talking about a period, you have to use during. So one grammatical error he made. Okay. Next, okay. And when I was asking question number one, and he was answering well, and there was a good logic. I'm giving negative and positive feedback both. And when I was asking question number two, okay, so he was using very good vocabulary like instead, and he was showing good logic also. And question number three, okay, there was a logic, and he used one relative clause, which it was very good. We use relative clause in order to give additional information about any person's place or thing. And question number four, let me give you negative feedback. It is not grammatically he spoke sentences well, but my question was, okay, do you prefer to read newspaper? I said prefer. He had to say, yes, I'm keen on I'm keen on reading newspaper. Instead of prefer, you should have replaced this word with synonyms. Are you Do you prefer to read newspaper? Yes, I'm keen on reading newspaper. I'm interested to read newspaper. You have to replace the word with synonyms. Okay, and okay, you have to impress to examiner by showing that you have wide range of vocabulary. Now, okay, though he gave negative answers, okay, you are welcome to give negative answers in IELTS exam. Okay. I don't know which question I asked. Okay, but he gave negative answers, but there was logic. It was good. Now I was asking about siblings. You know, how many siblings do you have, and what do they do for living? And siblings means brothers and sisters. He said I have four siblings, and they are doing something like. Okay, you have to say separately. I have two brothers and two sisters. By profession, they are physicians and they are engineers. We have to say separately. Okay, now, so what do you do in your spare time? And he repeated the questions. In my spare time, he had to say, in my free time. Okay, in my free time, I do numerous things. Firstly, secondly, and thirdly. Okay, next. Okay, and next questions. Okay, though he gave negative answers and there was stamina, I okay, it was appreciable. It was not bad. Okay, so your spoken English is not that bad, but you shouldn't use the word which is used by the examiner. Next time, please you take care. Okay. Now we are in IELTS speaking part 2. Now I would like to show you a cue card, and you have 60 seconds to prepare the notes. Your time starts now. Ready? Okay. Now, okay, do you have cell phone? Okay, now I have to give you feedback over here. I'll give you feedback. Now please start.
So once I look the question, I forgot at the first point.
I will show you this. These two questions.
Okay, so thanks. Please, firstly, thank you for the topic, and the topic I like the topic because the favorite place or the city I want to visit is Kathmandu city, as it is a capital city of Nepal, and there are lots of facilities there, and lots of people migrate there for so many purposes. Talking about that, some people like visiting religious places, the culture there they have. Similarly, most of people are migrated here for job opportunities, education facilities, as well as health facilities. Talking about the religious places in Kathmandu city, there are Bodhanath temple, Pashupatinath temple, Swambhunath temple, where lots of tourists visit there. Since it is listed in the World Heritage Site of Nepal, World Heritage Site of the world, and we can see that many of people are uh, keen to know the cultures and the language they follow. Similarly, the job opportunities, we can find lots of job opportunities in the field of health sector, and uh, and in different hotels lines, and many people are earning a lot as well as doing better in their jobs. Similarly, in education, we can see business related subjects. Similarly, the subject related to the health, science, laws, etc. And health facility. Talking about the health facility, uh, there are lots of health facilities here, because the transportation system is also very good. And since it is a capital city of Nepal, and comparing to other cities, Kathmandu is very good. It is a nice place in such all in this all thing in this all fields such as education, health, as well as job opportunities.
Would you like to speak more?
Yes, sir. On this one.
What's your name, please?
Anurag Patel, sir.
Uh, okay, Anurag, when you were speaking in Ielts speaking part 2, okay, so you did well. It was not bad, but it was not extremely impressive. Okay, so you were using good connectors like similarly, it was very good, and since is also good conjunction since. Okay, and you were not looking straight to the eyes of the examiner. You were looking down. Okay, it seems you were not enough confident. Okay, you were not looking straight to the eyes of the examiner. You need to look straight to the eyes of examiner, and you need to show excitement, joy on your face. You shouldn't show nervousness. You were looking down and you were searching answer here and there. You were struggling hard to speak. Okay, so you suffered from admirable fluency. And the next, you have to use Kathmandu has become educational hub. Okay, it has become business center. You didn't use the word hub. Okay, next you see etc. Etc. Okay, Nepalese say etc. Native speaker they say etc. It means you have to speak idiomatic English. Idiomatic means natural. Okay, British and American they don't say etc. They say etc. And you were using nice word. Okay, instead of using nice word, Kathmandu is the capital city of Nepal. It is considered to be one of the vibrant, sophisticated, and stimulating cities where people can get abundant facilities. You are not using wide range of vocabulary. Okay, and though you use a relative clause, you use very less, and you use linking words very less. Okay. Furthermore, moreover, however, on the contrary, in spite of, despite, even though, okay, like this. And explain why you love to visit this city. Okay, and there were less logics. You have to speak more. Okay, now we are in IELTS speaking part 3. Okay. What are the most interesting things to do while visiting cities on holiday?
Sorry, sir. Can you just repeat?
What are the most interesting things to do while visiting cities on holidays? What are the most interesting things to do while visiting cities on holidays?
Uh, on the holiday period, the interesting thing are visiting the new places and exploring new cultures uh, in new cities. Because in my own experience, visiting new places gives a different joy as well as some relaxing to me. Similar, however, it is quite difficult for us to just we are uncomfortable in that situation because since we are not connected with them as uh, from our
Okay. Now, do you think it is better to visit cities alone or in a group of friends? Or
in my point of view, visiting city area with friends is enjoyable because we can just talk and just enjoy the events, there visiting new places and knowing the new things and exploring the new cultures and such things.
okay, now why have cities increased in size in recent years? Why have cities increased in size in recent years? Cities are mushrooming. It is becoming more and more.
Well,
Yeah.
what about which city? One city or
Maybe
many cities? Cities
why
are
have cities increased in size in recent years? Okay, so many people are interested to live in city areas. Why?
yeah, that's the question. Many, as I told in part two questions, there are lots of facilities, and it has become one of the educational as well as health and different types of job hub. And most of the people migrate in search of job opportunities and health facilities. So, in my point of view, due to these things, they migrate there.
I'm I'm taking much time because I'm giving you written feedback. Now, okay. What are the advantages and disadvantages of internet? Explain in a brief.
There are so many pros and cons of internet. Talking about the pros, people can use it in an effective and useful manner because we can find so many things from there. Since there we can learn educations and learn different types of things. We can even search different things such as in internet we find creating content as well as seeing the content which are related to and useful in our life as many of the people do in their day-to-day life. And whereas talking about the cons, people are mostly using it in a improper way and wasting their time, and mostly the children are mostly affected by it because there are so many popular games they can play in internet, and they are just uh, giving priority to such games rather than their education. So these are the pros and cons that I would say about it.
Okay. My last questions to you. Uh, do you think marriage is necessary in our life? If yes, why? And if no, why?
Yes, marriage is important in our life because it is one of the social culture of our society, as it creates a bond between a male and female. Similarly, it is followed from our generation to generation, and we have to follow it. And uh, 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 a marriage gives a great responsibility to both male and female, as there is no meaning of life of any people without any responsibility. So, in my point of view, marriage gives a great responsibility to have a meaningful life in
Okay.
the people.
Let me end this IELTS speaking part 3 by asking one more question.
Okay, sir.
Do you think co-education is better for us these days? I mean, if students enroll themselves where there is co-education, and students will get enough benefits. Do you think so?
So, may I know the meaning of
I mean, when students admit themselves in the learning institutions where girls and boys study together, do you think co-education is good for students?
co-education means it's the education system with by keeping the both boys and girls in the same class.
You are right.
Okay,
So you can ask questions.
such an interesting question you have given me, and I like the questions. Talking about that, as it is a great way of teaching, um, by keeping the boys and girls in the class, because a class is not the place to teach only one kind of people or one kind of children. By we should give priority to the equality, and we should treat all equally. Similarly, it creates a great bond between male and female, because we find interesting in learning, and it is more effective to have education in the school if boys are kept in same school and uh, pursue their education for the betterment of their.
Okay, now I'm in the end of IELTS speaking part 3, and I would like to give a score to you. At first, I would like to give feedback on IELTS speaking part 3. Okay. When I was asking questions number 1, okay, so he was speaking logically, and he had to show more reasons, but he didn't. And okay, whenever I asked all questions, you have to speak on both sides. But at first, he speak on one side only. If there is all questions, do you think co-education is good for his students? It is good or bad? Do you think? You have to speak on both sides. He spoke on one side only, which is not good. You have to speak. You had to speak on both sides. And next questions, when I was asking these questions, okay, in my point of view, okay, whenever you have to express your opinion, you can say from my point of view, one, to my knowledge, as far as my knowledge is concerned, you can use this kind of expressions. Okay, number 4, when I was asking questions about internet, okay, he was speaking logically. He said its advantages, and there was a content, and he spoke about disadvantages also. But whenever you have to give example, in the first part say for example, and the next part say for instance. Okay. For example, okay, one of the richest man this world has ever produced is Elon Musk. What he did by gaining knowledge from internet, he became successful to invent reusable rocket. It is all because of the information and knowledge that he got from internet. I mean, if it is used intelligently, one can be rocket scientist like Elon Musk. On the contrary, it has so many demerits. For example, one of my younger brothers, he wasted time in order to chat with so many gorgeous girls, and he couldn't pass even grade 10 or grade 10. It is all because internet. He used internet in wrong purposes. As a result, he proved himself completely failure. I mean, internet has both merits and demerits. It is up to us how we use it. Okay, we have to give examples. Okay, so about the internet's benefits and I mean advantages and disadvantages, you have to speak more, but you did less. Okay. Now, when I was talking, I was asking questions about marriage. So, he was using a nice word, bond. Okay, responsibility. Content was there. Okay, and you can again give the example. For example, one of my uncles who didn't want to marry, even at the age of 45, he pressurized him to get married. As a result, he accepted our he accepted he obeyed what we said, and after that he started living moment to moment. I mean, he got the wife of his expectations. He is living moment to moment. I mean, he's utterly happy. Again, you had to give example, but you did. So now, lastly, I was talking about co-educations. Okay, do you think co-education is good for students? Do you think, if the question is based on opinions, from my perspective, as far as my knowledge is concerned, okay, in such questions we have to speak on both sides. Okay, co-education is good and it's bad. It is good because boys and girls, they will start knowing how to show due respect to each other. On the contrary, it is bad also because infatuation occurs. Okay, and boys and girls, they spend their time just by chatting. Okay, message in messenger and WhatsApp. So anyway, so I would like to keep it secret, but I can tell it publicly very soon. Okay, okay, I will keep it secret. Okay.
You can we can answer.
Yes, okay. You can leave the class if you wish. If you wish to stay here, you can stay. It's your choice.
Yeah, that will be better.
Okay, now Lalit.